One love, Delta 9 travelers. Welcome in to the International Digital Connection. Where you tuned in from right now? I'm coming live right now from the sunny, beautiful Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Who is in the live with me right now? If you're live and you can hear me and hear me coming through clearly, we're boarding Delta 9 travelers. So on your way in, hit that 9 for me if I'm coming through clearly, and thumbs up the live. We got a number of headlines that we will be updating one another with in this live presentation. I'm going to get into some of the previews of those headlines while we're boarding. Welcome to all the travelers that are in the chat right now, all the frequent travelers and all the new travelers live with us. Big up yourself. Thanks for tuning in. It's a Monday and we're live right here on Delta 9 Media. Edmond, what's going on? Edmond is saying good night to Delta 9 family, everyone on the flight. Thumbs up the live, please. Big up yourself, Edmond, and thanks for reminding persons on the way in, all the travelers. Thumbs up the live. Cost you nothing, but it will help to keep you connected with everything, and it helps to boost the channel in the algorithm so that other persons will be able to find the live presentation. Listen, there's so many headlines going on. Y'all ever going on? Y'all ever going on with Jagdeo? Yeah. Listen, this conversation that we got to get into is a very, very serious one. Very serious conversation that we got to get into, because first we hear about 10 AK, then we hear about 23 more. Now we're hearing that the persons allegedly, that might be connected to what's going on, got prior charges connected to things like treason, charges connected to things like the M word, right? So many other things that the top cops and other persons are going to be highlighting about the significance in what's going on right now, you know. And there's a question that I want to ask persons. Do y'all think that all of these different things that going down, from the bombing in Cemetery Road, the playground, the stuff that went down with the gas station where the young one was unalived, right? Do y'all think that these different things that went down in such a close proximity and a close amount of time as well, do you think it might have a connection? Because we're hearing that the person connected to the 23 AK was putting up the Venezuelan controversial information on their place of business from before, and end up picking up charges and all kind of. Listen, we can get into them headlines among other, you know. Thanks for tuning in.
Upon hearing that he was free to go, Jagdeo walked briskly out of the courtroom. He strolled to the police outpost, ditched his shirt and donned a purple hooded jersey and sunglasses. Jagdeo then slipped a bag around his shoulder and made his way to a waiting white CBR motorcycle on which he rode away to the courthouse. Meanwhile, relatives of the deceased who spoke to Kaichun.
One of the headlines that we're going to be getting into, among others, right? Because listen, if we don't pay attention to those details and the connections that's going on right there, can't eat with dinner, buddy. Can't eat with dinner for sure on those.
Businessman was charged in connection with a statement he made on social media that Guyana's Essequibo belongs to Venezuela. He made a statement after persons highlighted and criticized his business place for having a sign erected with a map of Guyana with Essequibo County missing. Jagdeo owns the $1,000 store on the east bank of the Marara. The Guyana government has been clear in going after persons locally who openly support Venezuela's claims of Guyana's Essequibo, especially in light of Venezuela's ongoing acts of provocation and aggression towards Guyana.
We're going to be getting into those headlines and the connections. Plus, the leader of our beautiful nation, Honorable Mr. President Ali, right, is highlighting the importance of holding a particular mindset, the importance of holding certain things in your focus, the self-belief that's needed, right? The conversations that entrepreneurs should be having, because guess what? There's millions and millions of dollars available for persons to have access to. And we're going to be getting into these details, among others, coming from who? President Ali. Let's hear a little part of these headlines.
To have this winning strategy, we have to have a positive mindset. No batsman going out in a 2020 game can be successful if they go out with a negative mindset, worrying about the conditions of play, worrying about if they have to face the fastest bowler, worrying about failure. You have to create a positive mindset. And this is something I want every Guyanese to have as we embark on this journey together. The first phase of the development bank would create opportunities for thousands of Guyanese.
The mindset, because the funds is there, but you know, here on Delta 9 Media, we got to analyze as many aspects as we can. We ain't going into this conversation one-sided on either side of the political spectrum of our nation. We're trying to realize what's the best way to deal with these things, right? So we're going to be hearing from Honorable Dr. Todd and persons in the opposition as well, so we could get some balance to what's taking place. And then we're going to have some meaningful conversation on these headlines as well.
Proposed bill, if you go to section, I believe it's 32 of the proposed bill, you would recognize, and I quote from the proposed bill, the bank shall not be subject to the Financial Institutions Act and shall be governed by this present act and any orders and regulation made by this act. There are a number of regulatory framework and legislations, and one of those is the Chapter 8503, and that is the Guyana Financial Institution Act that they're saying you will not.
I'm telling you, those in more detail right here, live right now with Delta 9 Media. As well, we brought some headlines coming from the leader of the opposition recently, where he was highlighting these things.
Oh, Mama said this man dead, boy. The opposition leaders are Uncle Dookie dead.
Uncle Dookie alive and well.
Uncle Dookie alive, what you got?
Back to village is bank for we. Come Mr. with him. Call me if you is Mr. Dookie.
They're clearing an acre for 2.8 million Guyana dollars. 5 by 2.8, that's 14 million Guyana dollars. They cleared this land. What is going on? Any farming is happening here? Where is the owner of this land?
The owner of this land is overseas. They live in Guyana.
You heard Jagdeo? This is Mr. George living in here for the past 40 years plus. So my people, my fellow brothers and sisters, I want you to understand. Zulfikar Mustafa and his family, they're getting the contracts to clear these land.
Corruption or corrupted information? Who got it right? Who got it right? We're going to be analyzing what's going on with that, because person stepped forward exposing some strong allegations and people came back answering to those allegations. So we're going to highlight what's going on in that and try to figure out who was right and what's really going on. Is it corruption? Is it corrupted information? Or is it something else? Big up to all the travelers right now, all the frequent travelers with us, all the new travelers with us. Thanks for tuning into this live presentation. Sly, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Sly is saying, hail up to all the Guyanese people. Good night, Delta. Big up yourself, Sly. Thanks for tuning into the live presentation. Marcia, good evening to the Delta 9 family and all watching. Thanks for tuning in to this international digital connection. Now, I'm telling you, it's about that time for us to start getting into these headlines right now, right here on Delta 9 Media.
This one here is for all the PPP supporters who are out there spreading a lot of lies and misinformation to the media and to all the fake news out there. I want to let you know something that you're going to get it right. You're going to get it right. This is how the PPP supporters people stay, right? They are not finding facts, right? They just come on the internet, see somebody post something, and they've been carried away. They've been brainwashed by the PPP government. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna get it right. This one here is for all the PPP supporters who are out there spreading a lot of lies and misinformation.
I'm telling you. The Win MP say, hey, watch what you are saying, you know. Because y'all ain't got to set the record straight when the real information is presented. Big up to all the travelers right now in the chat. Team Win, Team PPP, Team APNU. Which team are you? Thanks for tuning into the live presentation. Let's hear from the Honorable Minister because, listen, there's a lot being said recently, allegedly.
We are at Region 5, another outreach, and this allows residents direct contact with government officials. You know that the Vice President would have organized these outreaches across the country. We have already concluded outreaches in Region 2, Region 4, Region 6. Now we are in Region 5. And this allows the resident directly to come and make representation, raise issues of concern, and also make suggestions. And this is the philosophy of the Civic government in allowing residents to ensure that they have a say in government. And what we are doing here, we are also breaking down bureaucracy that exists in regions. For example, many issues people would have raised with officials, technical officers, sometimes they are not getting proper redress with them. When they come here directly with the ministers, the vice president, they have direct contact and the issue are being dealt with immediately. As a matter of fact, since morning at the agriculture area, I have seen over 120 persons. And most of the issues that were raised were resolved immediately. Places and things like land issue, farming issue, help, what farmers would have needed, and things like that. So I think that this is a good way in having residents to come, citizens to come and make direct contact with government officials, with the highest people in offices, ministers, vice presidents, and things like that. So, as I said, that this is the philosophy of our government, this is the civic government, and it shows with number of persons that are coming to these outreaches, it shows that these outreaches we are having results, and they are getting proper redress coming to this.
So, we get a chance to hear straight from the minister himself on one of his most recent outreaches with the public. But guess what? The leader of the opposition was highlighting certain things recently. So before we hear the answers that persons had, we're trying to analyze who got it right and if it's corrupt information or if it's actual corruption going on the ground. A bit of both or something else. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Drop it into the comment section or call it in. And the poll is already up on the live right now. So cast your votes. Let's analyze what's taking place right here. Let's hear and refresh ourselves with what's going on the ground in our beautiful nation.
The government President Jagdeo, this video is for you. I want to show you what your cabal is doing, how your cabal, how your ministers, how they're milking money off the backs of taxpayers in this country. I am presently at Mako, located on the East Bank, Berbice, Region 6. Between Mara to New Forest, for the past 3 years, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, he's involved in a highway robbery where he's clearing lands off the guise of assisting farmers with agriculture. A lot of the farmers passed away, some as much as 15, 20 years ago. Presently, behind us is a piece of land where they cleared just recently 5 acres of land. They're clearing an acre for 2.8 million Guyana dollars. 5 by 2.8, that's 14 million Guyana dollars. They cleared this land. What is going on? Any farming is happening here? Where's the owner of this land?
The owner of this land is overseas. You live in Guyana.
You heard Jagdeo? This is Mr. George living in here for the past 40 years plus. So my people, my fellow brothers and sisters, I want you to understand, Zulfikar Mustafa and his family, they're getting the contracts to clear these lands. Clear these land located between Mara and New Forest on the east bank of Berbice to assist farmers. That's the excuse, assist farmers. And absolutely no farming is happening on these lands. Or when they clear the land, let's say January, they're coming again 6 months after to clear the same land, repeated clearing. That means repeated money in their pockets. Corruption. Corruption, Jagdeo. So we just show you 5 acres, no farming happening over here, the money going into the minister's pocket. Let us show you another 10 acres where they're clearing right opposite the 5 acres. And this land, this 10 acres over here, whose land?
This is Dr. Apudu.
And where's Dr. Apudu?
He passed away years ago. More than 15 years after Apudu passed away.
Wow. So my fellow brothers and sisters, you see where all the money going. You see where the $1 trillion budget's going. You mentioned about the list with 25 persons on the list.
The 25 person name on the list. The last list they compare with recently. And on that list, again, more than 5 persons passed away. More than 5 persons passed away.
Can you name me some of the persons?
Dr. Apudu, Robbie LaRose, Ramroop, Biro, this other guy, Duki.
That's okay. Jagdeo, some names mentioned. Look into this immediately, and you need to sack your ministers. This is high level of corruption. This is highway robbery that is going on. They're just clearing.
I'm telling you, what really going on? Is it misinformation, corrupted information, or is it actual corruption, allegedly, that is going on the ground? Allegedly. We're trying to figure out, because the opposition is presenting that, but other persons is answering this.
Bank of Berbice, attached to the RDC Region 6. Now, the opposition leader was on this Bank of Berbice in this very area, Maka. If you look, there's the excavator up the road, and this is the end of Maka to a place called Hope Chung. Now, let me bring some clarity to this entire issue. A few years back, the president was here, and farmers visited his meeting and asked for assistance in terms of land clearing. There and then, the president said, okay, we're going to assist farmers. A committee was set up, of which I was a part of, and I was responsible for a particular area from Maka to Zorgenfleck. Now, our responsibility was to capture the data of farmers' names and what they want for the land that they are living on. Now, that list was submitted, and on a subsequent visit, the president said, okay, we're going to clear 5 acres of land, and through the committee, we said, okay, this lands will be cleared, and you have to have some amount of drainage on it. So we added on a number of length of drains to the cleared area. Now, the opposition leader and Mr. George yesterday claimed that the government is clearing lands for dead people. Let me just bring this to your attention. The government cleared land for me a few years ago, and I don't own any land on these Bank of Bobbies. Yes, I'm a farmer, but I don't own any land. The land is in my father's name. Just before my land was cleared, it was cleared for Mr. George. Mr. George doesn't own any land. The land is owned by his dead father. I might be incorrect at this point in time. I don't know if he went and got leased for the land that he now sits on, but as far as I know, those lands are owned by a dead person. Well, you know, once you're dead, the lease, I think, dies with it. So I don't know what's the story there, but I will find out. The fact is, the East Bank of Berbice is a closely knit community. Everybody know everybody. And majority of the lands in East Bank of Berbice are privately owned. Now, second and third generation like myself do not find the money to go and get their lands into their names. So we just continue, be born and raised and grow up on the land. So I'll be a user land. The government come to assist. We take the assistance, we clear the land. Now, the point in question here with the opposition leader is that lands are being cleared for dead people. And I will say this, lands are being cleared for the living people, but the dead people's names are still on the transport and leases. So if they want to put it...
So, we all think about what we're hearing right here, man. Is it corruption or corrupted information? Or is it a bit of both or something else? We all think. Drop it into the comment section. Make sure that you vote on the poll that we have right now up on the channel, or call it in. We're definitely opening the hotlines right now so persons can call in. And we're going to make sure that we put up the hotline number on the screen for those who might not have the number and would like to do so. Right? Big up to all the travelers right now in the chat. If you haven't already taken a couple of seconds, thumbs up the live, ladies and gentlemen. It really costs you nothing to hit that thumbs up button, but it helps to keep you connected with every single thing trending in Guyana and in the diaspora. And the poll right now that's on the screen is saying that 58%, 62% is saying yes, Mr. Mohamed got it right. So, what's going on with the conversation that we're hearing coming right now from the Ministry of Agriculture, buddy? What's going on with that? We all think corrupted information, corruption, or a bit of both. Or guess what? It could be something brand new altogether. Call it in. Let's have a conversation about it. And let's hear some more coming from the Ministry of Education.
Owned by dead. And if they want to continue to say that the government is clearing lands to dead people, well, yes, the government is clearing lands to dead people for people to use who are living, like myself and Mr. George. Mr. George has some serious issues that he has to deal with. Now, and I find that this land here is one of the lands that were cleared recently. And behind there is where Mr. George has a leased land.
Steve is saying Mohamed is a fraud. Telling you different views and a whole lot of opinions about what's going on right here. That's why I come for try to analyze it. I said, you know, let's bring it to the travelers and let me try to suss out what's taking place, because by right, we did do a presentation when the Honorable Opposition Leader would have did the video originally. So when there's updates and persons are now saying contrary, we gotta highlight it as well, just to be neutral on the matter and to be real, you understand me? Marcia is saying good evening to the Delta 9 family and all watching. Thanks for tuning in, Marcia. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. Right? Marcia is saying the PPP government ministers, supporters, they are all corrupt. Telling you. We're saying that more than 50% of persons would have said Mr. Mohamed got it right. So we're going to hear some more coming from the Ministry of Agriculture. What are your views? Make sure that you drop your vote on the poll, call it in, or drop your comment in the comment section. PPP ministers is nothing but thieves and criminals, allegedly. Allegedly. That's what Shell is highlighting right there. The man that was giving information to Mohammed mentioned Mr. Duki being dead and the man alive and well. Nariana, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a moderator as well right here on Delta 9 Media. And thanks for dropping those insights on the live. Yeah, we definitely got to understand is we're really going at. Because we hear the leader of the opposition is asking that persons look into the names and look into what's going on there. So if we're to go along with that chain of thought, one would think that the leader of the opposition already went through the information, analyze it, and realize that, listen, this is something that I got to deal with because it's actually something that, you know, is founded in the truth. Hopefully. What do y'all think? Agriculture is a fraud. All right. Let me hear some more.
Of which some of which were cleared recently as well, but you won't tell you that part of the story. And I will allow him to come back and tell you how is it that other people's lands were cleared on his land that is owned by his dead father. Now, I have
lands of disease and just collecting money under the guise of assisting farmers. Look, we have 10 acres of land over here. No farming, absolutely nothing is happening over here. So $2.8 million per acre, multiplied by 10, that's 28 million Guyana dollars in the pockets of your ministers.
And this is the second time this land clear now.
Second time.
Second time for the last year and this year.
No farming.
No farming yet.
Please show in the land so that people can see nothing is happening in there. And how long to clear an acre? 5 acres, sorry, they're clearing.
4 days, sometimes 4 days, 5 days maximum.
So in 5 days, $14 million. In
5 days, 14 million. I mean, that's not a bad sum. But it's all about how you're coming by the amount, right? Big up to all the travelers right now on the live. Everybody dropping insightful commentary into the chat. Nariana, thanks for tuning in. Let's hear from other persons as well that is highlighting things like this.
Alan, and this land that the opposition cleared that is a dead man land, it is my land. I have my little documents stating that the land is mine. A copy of this document is at the Land and Registry, the Land and Survey Registry, and also at the NDC that govern this area. Had the opposition need accurate information, he could have seeked the relevant authority of such. Now, as you can see, I have some manure here, and I have some wood here to where I will erect my building, which is already, the plan has already been approved by the NDC. I have already reaped crops from this very land. Thank you.
So,
as you can see that I have manure. The manure here that I have is to be placed on my bed that I've already made for me to continue producing. I am so grateful for the government so that they can come and assist me to clean my area because I've asked for this assistance. No? So I have asked the president when he came tomorrow to assist in cleaning. And this is one of the promises that he fulfilled, that he will assist us. And we are very grateful for such an initiative.
How is benefiting you?
This is benefiting me a lot because the land is already clear. I don't have to pay persons to come and help on the bush for me. And I can get to plant and produce, and I can set up my house the way I want it. I am grateful for such an initiative.
Explain to persons who don't know agriculture how you can plant when rain falling.
Yes, well, as you could see, the government did assist us in cleaning, and also that they help us to have drainage so that we can drain off our water. So some of the beds, you could see, the machine make bed high enough that it can help assist us from having not much flood.
Okay. So we're hearing from other persons. What do you think? What's really the situation going on? Corruption, corrupted information, some both, or something brand new altogether? Call it in Delta 9 Travelers or drop it into the comment section.
5 days. Can you believe that, Jagdeo?
And all of this is this is just a little part of it. This is just a little part of the land. We're clear. There's a bunch of places.
This is whose excavator?
This is KGM excavator.
How you know it's KGM excavator?
Because all the logo is right to the back. All the take out.
So they take off the stickers.
Take all the stickers from the back.
But they don't know that I have people in every crack, every nook and cranny in this country. People would tell me about corruption.
This is just one of the excavators. They bring some brand new excavator.
And how you know Zulfikar getting the contracts to clear the land?
Because his son. Let's talk to his son up here already.
You saw his son here?
I talked to him up here, right? He's going to be with a pickup. I talked to him right up here.
So if I show you a picture, you can tell me if this is his son?
Yes, as long as I see the person, I can know him. I can recognize the individual.
This guy.
Yep, that's the individual. I talked to.
For you.
Yes.
Do you own any land?
No.
Ma'am, did the government clear lands for you?
Yeah, the government clear we land, but the land is not we land. The land is my father-in-law land in the States, but we living on the place. So by rights, they have to clean the land, not because my father-in-law not around. We live in there. And I thankful for it. If the government say now he's not cleaning land for people who ain't have a transport, that means majority people of the bank won't be having land clearing.
Okay. So we get a chance to hear from persons, and we get a chance to hear from the leader of the opposition as well. Something going on, something in adding up. Shell is saying Mohamed comes with facts. Steve is saying people who got farms and millions in property on it can't get papers. I'm telling you. Noel, thanks for tuning in. Noel is saying no need to deal with the lands that Mohamed is talking about. Only the Chinese can control Guyana. Narian is saying, watch your story here. Tell you, yeah, I have to bring it and let me try to analyze it, because I hear it and then I say, what really taking place? Maybe some of the travelers, because I know we got an international digital connection, persons all over the globe tuned in, might be able to highlight and analyze some of what's going on and help to bring more clarity to what really taking place, right? And I see a number of comments in the comment section, and persons are definitely analyzing and trying to suss out what really taking place. Marcia is saying she get paid to lie for PPP. Delta, the Minister of Agriculture, paying them to lie. Ah, boy. Wake up yourself, Marcia. Thanks for dropping those insights in the comment section. Well, if that's the case, Persons really putting themselves in a place to continually be victimized. Because when persons coming and looking out, and then now you can got persons coming and trying to make them appear as if they are in turn somehow presenting a lie, it's real crazy. Noel is asking if the land is for housing or if it's for agriculture. Well, it seems as if most of the land is supposed to be for agri, right? That's what it seems like, Noel. He's saying Guyanese want to steal the land to get free electricity. Well, that would be a crazy development, you know. I'm telling you. Listen, and as we talking about alleged corruption, and as we talking about a lot of things that is going on in the country that definitely needs a second look, things that sometimes as we analyze it, we really wonder how we find ourselves in some of these predicaments allegedly. Now, let's hear some of what this brother right here is highlighting, because he's making a point, and he's making a number of points that are very, very interesting.
On many parts. So for the people, particularly in North America, that I know he does business with, maybe it's above board. You never know. But if what I assume is going to happens, then I'm assuming that all of those business connections that he has would have to be cut off, because you'd have to follow the precedent set when the Mohammeds were sanctioned. When the Mohammeds were sanctioned, all the businesses, the bank accounts, everything that goes down, right? So I'm pretty sure that the same would have to go for him. That's one thing that I wanted to cover. Secondly, I would have noticed over time that a certain very popular social media personality would have been posting up things about him. And I need to make this extremely clear. I believe that that person knows that I do not support a lot of the things that they post, but anything negative that is true about the people that I were connected to, I would support it because it's the truth. And I know it to be the truth. All right. And the comparisons by that gentleman to Sue, I agree with it. It is more hardcore than that. And the calling him the vice president of Guyana in the eyes of the Chinese is also true. But not because of the fact that I support her postings, right? And we talk about Melly Mel, her postings about the person I was connected with means I support her. Right? I made it abundantly clear over time, and I'll make it clear to the world now. If I see anything positive posted about Azruddin Mohammed and the Win Party, I ain't got time with that shit, because those people are some of the most corrupt in the world. The amount of money that they stole from the Guyanese and Guyana is unprecedented. It's ridiculous. And I also have to talk about, well, and so before I come off that topic, so not because somebody posts something that I agree with means that I support them wholeheartedly. I don't. I post my own things, and I have multiple people that look at it, view it, share it, etc., and so on, right? But I don't support everything, because some of the things that they post about, I have no knowledge of whatsoever, so I can't support it. I can't support everything that they post about certain ministers because I don't know if it's true or not. But the stuff that they post about the Chinese man, I support it because I know for a fact it is true. And I also know that they don't have all of the information that I have, right? And if any of these people are to support the Win Party and Azruddin Mohammed, I can't, I have nothing more to say on that, because I wouldn't be a follower. I wouldn't like the post. I wouldn't reshare it, because Devin Singh has nothing to do with the Win Party.
Now Rihanna is saying Delta 9, I do not agree to any of this type of culture. Yeah, it don't make no sense when you think about it, because how are we going forward with this corrupt information kind of culture? This one saying that one is almost kind of like if you put in the wrong persons in these positions of power, right? And then look at what we got to deal with. The hotline numbers on your screen right now, Delta 9 travelers. Call it in. Let's have some meaningful conversation about what's going on right here. Because we're hearing a lot of things being presented, but the key that persons got to remember in Guyana, outer Guyana, around the world, that without unity, it's more of the same gonna take place, because persons in certain positions of power seems as if they don't make up the mind, but because as we can clearly hear and see what taking place, that listen, serious times on the ground. Serious times on the ground right now. Right? Who's in the chat? Who's in the chat with us right now? Jeffrey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning into the live and for being a moderator right here on Delta 9 Media. How much Chinese stealing and others like the PPP? I'm telling you, but it is the $1 trillion question. That is a big money question, right? Nariana is saying, how is it okay for us to bring judgment to youths who steal phones, gold chains, etc., but not judge Mohammed for stealing gold? Big question right there. Seems like if persons got double standard, right? That's a right conversation if we're to analyze it, right? Nariana, Marcia is saying anything Mohammed do that time. Anything Mohammed do at that time, Jagdeo, when he was president, he and all of his ministers was agreed with the Mohammeds, and they all was friends. I'm telling you, back then things change, right? Things change up now, allegedly, but it's still a controlled opposition like we've been talking about for a while. Do you think Mohammed got it right? 71% is saying, yeah, Mr. Mohammed got it right. That means that the information that we heard coming in from those persons, it seems like if it might be corrupted information, corruption, or something brand new altogether. I'm telling you, drop it into the comment section, or guess what, if you're watching the live in the rewind in the future, drop the comment in the comment section so that we could understand what your views are about this poll that we had live right here on Delta 9 Media. And make sure you subscribe so that you're going to catch us the next time that we're live right here, updating one another with all of these headlines. All of these very important and trending headlines right now, right? We're talking about this conversation with this 23 plus 10, right? This is some of the things were going on in the country right now. Let me watch. There's a big brutal posh way going on right there, right? Now we ain't saying all persons, but a lot of these situations that we're hearing about now is shining a bad light. Is making us wonder, is there any real policy in place to make sure that we sifting through the people them that coming in through the immigration process? Is there an immigration process? Or you just come and you get in where you fit in? What really going on? Let me dive into the updates with this 23 plus 10. Who get hold, other things that they might be connected to, and just the far-reaching implications of this now as we are analyzing it. The biggest boss of this nature, and I could stand corrected, in our nation's history. Let's hear.
Military grade weapons and ammunition are turning up, and Guyanese are getting worried. Rightfully so. 3 years ago, when Maduro was pelting threats and Ali was running helter-skelter, an emergency meeting was called by the regional security system. That's a system that the Americans put in place for the Caribbean to integrate in the event of threats or whatever it is. I started laughing at that emergency meeting because I asked one question. If our nation is going to go to war, show me some logistics. How are you going to get men in and out from the front line? How are you going to get supplies in to your men? How are you going to get the dead and the wounded out from the front line? Give me some logistics. Then I said to them, you have more than 20,000 men below the age of 55 who are military trained, ex-soldiers I'm talking about. Why don't you bring them to bear arms? Even if you don't send them to the front line. We have the presence of many foreign nationals here. Each village can be defended. Let these men bear arms. And if you want to go to the front line to fight, I will go. As old as I am presently, I will go. We may not win, but somebody has to defend the nation. I'll give you an example that was right before your eyes to show you what the Americans and the British would do to bring this country down and get rid of all of us. Do you know of the incident in Waco, Texas? Yes, the Branch Davidian, a fellow by the name of David Koresh. Because of the First Amendment, churches are allowed to exist without interference. And that siege was caused because of that. Here in Guyana, you know of a man by the name of Rabbi Edward Washington. You call him Rabbi Washington, and everybody thinks that he was an instrument of Burnham. David Hill, that was his correct name, was planted here by the American government because he was forming a black supremacy group and building the House of Israel in the United States. And the Jews did not like that because he was saying that the real Jews are blacks. He was also a criminal. And they said, hey, we're going to let you loose, but you go to Guyana and you destroy Guyana. This man is a fugitive offender, landed here, and the Americans never came for him. Everything that Rabbi did, everything that Rabbi Washington did was orchestrated by the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the American government.
When we think about some of these implications, when we think about the fact that, listen, these are some of the same persons that we're looking to give us any kind of assistance with what's taking place right here. If things are to really kick off with Venezuela, yo, it's a serious, serious time, you know. Because guess what? Let me hear some more details about these 23 plus 10 AKs who get hold and some of the things that these persons are known for from before, allegedly.
I don't know him, but the man who they said they want unlawful possession of firearms, I know of him, right? Randy Jagdeo. Now, let me tell you all something about him. Randy Jagdeo was accused of killing a man, murder charge, called Davis. This is a news item, March the 21st, 2014. So listen to who this Randy Jagdeo is. 5 months after being accused of gunning down a man who was said to be a good friend of his, Water Street businessman Randy Jagdeo yesterday walked out of the city court a free man after chief magistrate discharged the murder charge instituted against him. The 28-year-old had been accused of killing popular biker Kirk Davis on September the 3rd, 2013. After spending almost 2 months on the run, Jagdeo surrendered to police custody and was then brought before the court to be arraigned for murder. Appearing before the chief magistrate, Priya Shinrain Biari, on October the 30th last. On February the 5th.
So that man's name is just there in a lot of big kinds of situations, right? When you're hearing certain things calling, big charges. And then now we're hearing that this same person is connected to drying Guyana without Essequibo, now 20-something, allegedly, because there might be more. High power firearm, right? And my apologies to all the persons that were calling in. I see a lot of frequent travelers was calling in, and guess what? I jump on the live, and because of the consistent bombardment of a lot of telemarketing and stuff like that on this line, I had it on Do Not Disturb. So I see I had a number of calls from persons that were calling into the show that as well would have gotten blocked. My apologies to all the travelers that were calling in. Feel free to give us a call back and voice your views about the headlines that we were being highlighting right here on the live.
the preliminary inquiry got underway before the said magistrate. The businessman, who was represented by an attorney, with 2 attorneys, the names are here, I'm going to call them in. The prosecutor, police corporal, name here, I'm going to call him in. The pre-trial matter engaged the attention of the court for a little over 1 month, and some 7 witnesses were called to take the stand on behalf of the prosecution.
Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Major Live.
I just blessing of my family. Blessing of the audience. I'm trying to disconnect everybody from calling you, my brother.
No, well, the phone was on Do Not Disturb because I don't know what's going on with the phone recently, but I'm getting a lot of calls from telemarketing and stuff like that. They picked to something.
But you should realize, when you start taking jump on and nobody's calling, you're supposed to check in your phone right now.
Yeah. I tell you, right on this live, and you're just focusing in and trying to keep everything flowing. Sometimes them things slip by, but yeah. But my apologies, brother. See, you were calling in a couple of times. Well,
you see, we're in our Guyanese people. We don't like run with the truth, my brother. We like run with lies. You understand?
Yeah.
Where do we like to run with? Now people are liking the truth, and we taking the truth for nothing. We taking the truth as lies. That is who we want to run with. You understand me, brother? Yeah. Straight up. Now, the people clearing the land, my brother, for farming purpose. Where's your farm? All them come and saying that no, it's lies, like
exactly.
They tell you and show you what part they plant.
Nobody is showing no crop in cultivation, but they're saying that listen, you can't cultivate during the rainy season. You say about that?
Well, here now. So what happened? So look, it's easy to talk, but there's always said, fool listen, fool talk, but not fool listen.
Yeah.
You understand me, brother? Could you show me preparation that this is your farm? You're not planned, but show me preparation. Huh? Now you see, Jagdeo, Randy Jagdeo, you see any man, they let you go free. You see what's going on now? The man tell them straight, and it's a Venezuelan. And I'm going to get me people to damage this country. And you see, we don't have for this one.
Yeah.
These people gotta wake up, my brother.
But they is taking this thing as a joke. The man jump out.
Need to wake up.
Yeah.
This is a whole big shipment of these guns in this country, This is just some.
Hearing allegedly that
and
the
it is reached to the rightful and the people, like I need to stop commanding,
Hearing allegedly them are shipping everything through the wharf and that kind of thing. I kind of suss it out. I see how everything wrap up nice and plastic. I say, no, there's a big shipment. Yeah.
Listen, don't ship it through the wharf, it makes sense. We get an open border policy. What do you have to going to ship things to the wharf for?
Crazy.
And we get an open border policy.
Crazy.
Like just walking in the So we going to the wharf for they detect that gun coming to container or gun coming to packages. That makes sense, my brother?
Well, there's the word in the news. The word in the news is listen, we gotta get better equipment at these wharfs so that these things can be detected.
The thing coming from right at the border. They just pass it in the river and the thing there in the animal, brother. They got container, no nothing. You understand, my brother? But Chinese people still sleeping. And I know when we go come out to phone, my brother.
We'll think about the trend de la Agua bombing that happened recently. You think that had anything connected to what's going on with this?
all of them connected to one set of people, them as well. And I need to play it, you know.
Yeah.
Now we talking all these high-power writers. Are we vetting these people to see what's going on with them? Are we tapping all these people and vet them to make sure all of them are clear once in our country? Or are we allowing them open for the policy? What are we doing?
You know the crazier thing?
These things are happening.
Yeah. And
remember, there's over 200 and something thousand people from different areas in Guyana, you know.
Less than 1 million, and Guyana got less than 1 million people. So that's the thing.
So if all of them get the AK rifle, we're going to happen with our soldiers. And like the man rightfully said, what preparation, what emergency things are put in place for emergency purpose? There is none. We just get a dancing government and an advertising president we have. That's all we have, though. Anyhow, left some for later.
Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in. I'm telling you, the frequent travelers calling in and definitely sharing their views with us about a number of headlines that we would have discussed right here on the live presentation. Again, my apologies to all the persons that were calling in to the live, and the phone was going probably straight to busy signal or whatever it would give when it's on do not disturb. I forgot to take it off of that feature, and you know, that was what the reason was. Nariana is saying Guyanese come out to block the road for the unjust handling of the unaliving of Adriana, and was labeled terrorists to on their own soil. Yet this banner, Randy, is just famous. Yeah, 23 plus more recently found in less than 50 days, and person's name is called in it, and them getting that label. That's a powerful point that you just highlighted there. Big up to all the travelers, all the frequent travelers that in the live right now, right? And thanks to all of those that's gonna catch this one in the rewind in the future. I'm telling you, man. As we analyzing this, let's hear some more coming in from the top cop, Mr. Paul Slow, speaking out, exposing corruption and incompetence right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, go over and catch the full presentation every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Monday and Wednesday at 11 and Friday at 4 right here on YouTube, right? Tell them Delta 9 Media Senior, Mr. Paul Slow.
Yesterday, the prosecution was ordered to close its case after failing on 3 occasions to produce its 2 remaining civilian witnesses to the court. The girlfriend of the deceased, Nalifa Duki, and the only eyewitness, Rondell Marks, also known as Barber, were absent, despite being summoned by the court and radio messages being sent demanding their attendance. After the prosecution closed its case, one of the lawyers stood on behalf of the accused and made his no-case submission. The lawyer urged the court to affirm that prosecution had failed to prove the elements of the offense. He admitted that the prosecution had established that Davis died within a year and a day as a result of gunshot received. The lawyer insisted, however, that the prosecution did not prove who inflicted the injuries. The magistrate, in response, upheld the no-case submission and ruled that the prosecution has indeed failed to present the court with sufficient evidence for a prima facie case of murder to be established against Jagdeo, and as such, discharged the matter. Upon hearing that he was free to go, listen to this carefully, students. Upon hearing that he was free to go, Jagdeo walked briskly out of the courtroom. He strolled to the police outpost, ditched his shirt and donned a purple hooded jersey and sunglasses. Jagdeo then slipped a bag around his shoulder and made his way to a waiting white CBR motorcycle on which he rode away from the courthouse. Meanwhile, relatives of the deceased who spoke to Kaicho News expressed displeasure with the judicial system, stating that the proceedings were a slap in their face. One female relative indicated that they are highly disappointed in the Guyana police force and the sloppy investigation conducted. I understand the court's position since there were constant no-shows by witnesses, but at some point in time, the police were in contact with these witnesses. What happens to witnesses with the protection system? Why weren't provision made for them? Here it is that a man walks free because these witnesses, in fear, may have left the country. Now a mother is without a son, and a son is without a father because of a sloppy system. The relative said she hopes that no other family would have to live through the anguish of having lost a loved one at the hands of another, only to receive no justice. She expressed hope that the Director of Public Prosecution would reopen the case and that better efforts will be made in terms of investigations. Quote, the system has enough resources to achieve things, but it's slackness and laziness all around. No effort was placed in this case. Now, let me say this. Let me take a little, hold on one moment.
He was granted bail in the sum of $350,000, according to the police. The 39-year-old businessman from Alexander Village appeared at the Diamond Magistrates Court this morning, where the charge was read to him. He was not required to enter a plea to the indictable charge. As part of his bail package, Jagdeo has been ordered to report to the Cybercrimes Unit of the Guyana Police Force on the third Friday of every month for the duration of his trial. The businessman was charged in connection with a statement he made on social media that Guyana's Essequibo belongs to Venezuela. He made a statement after persons highlighted and criticized his business place for having a sign erected with a map of Guyana with Essequibo County missing. Jagdeo owns the $1,000 store on the east bank of the Marara. The Guyana government has been clear in going after persons locally who openly support Venezuela's claims of Guyana's Essequibo, especially in light of Venezuela's ongoing acts of provocation and aggression towards Guyana. Jagdeo is no stranger to the local courts. A few years ago, he was charged with the murder of his friend, who he had accused of having a relationship with his girlfriend at the time. He was, however, freed of that murder charge after the main witness to the murder was a no-show during the case.
Today's handing over of a new home to this family is yet another commitment by the Mohamed in providing a proper
So we're hearing the details, right? Coming from some of the situations that this same person was connected to. So that's why we're asking ourselves, 23 plus what else, right? There got to be something more to what's going on with all of these random situations. Are they actually random, or is it connected, right? What are your views? Drop it into the comment section or call it in. And let your vote count in the poll that we have up on the channel right now. I'm going to ask moderation to just pull it up whenever we get a chance so we could see what the voting is like in this one, the second poll that we have up on the channel. Let's hear some more coming in from this brother right now.
That was in 1972. Let's fast forward. Then came Jim Jones. Some of his people arrived here in 75 and they start building the People's Temple. You know who signed the letter for him to come here and beg for the land? Rosalind Carter. There is a conversation between Rosalind Carter and Jim Jones. This man is wanted for so many crimes. Oh, sorry, was wanted for so many crimes that they offered him a deal.
Wow. It's crazy when we analyze what really going on. Crazy when we analyze it. One of the biggest fines, boss, however you want to put it out, in the history of our country. A certain person turned himself in. But number of things that this person is connected to is making us wonder what else is to come. Are all of these apparently random incidents connected? We went down on Cemetery Road, we went down on the ground not too far away from Cemetery Road. We went down at the gas station. We're going on with the 10 that get fined before these 23. Listen, if we allowed persons to sweep this under the rug, it's only a matter of time, buddy, before we see another surprise incident like what went down at the gas station or something. Because these things gotta be kept in check. Let's hear some more insights coming in from the top cop.
It is alleged that Cork Davis or Randy Jagdeo felt that his wife had a relationship with Cork Davis. It is said, somebody said, they saw Cork Davis kissing his wife. He then went, got Cork Davis, and this man emptied a pistol. The postmortem showed that Cork Davis received 16 gunshot wounds. And according to what was said, Randy Jagdeo inflicted these gunshot wounds. And thereafter, he went into hiding. 16 gunshot wounds. He turned up after 2 months. He go in, and then as we are there, the matter dismissed. Two main witnesses refused to go and give evidence. Two main witnesses. And rumor has it, and it's not fair, according to the things the people might have been fearful. Jackie Opel stepped in. Jackie Opel stepped in, and they decided not to go and give evidence in this matter. And as the article said, as soon as the man here discharged, man done thing, look the picture here. This was all over, this was over the news. This is the man riding away from the court, Randy Jagdeo. This is Randy Jagdeo riding away from the court after being freed of this murder charge. And at the time, a day or two after, or sometime after, crime chief said Randy Jagdeo knew he would be free. Well, he knew he would be freed, but they said free. Right? As evidenced by CBR parked outside courthouse. The CBR was prepositioned outside the courthouse. And here what he said. The fact that murder accused Randy Jagdeo had a CBR motorcycle parked outside the Georgetown Magistrate Court on the day charges against him were dismissed due to the non-appearance of civilian witnesses is very alarming. This is according to Crime Chief, Deputy Commissioner Seelan Prasad.
It's definitely alarming that this same person that is connected to all of these things that we just hear from prior newscasts and we're hearing from the top cops as well, two other big cases, right? Two other big charges. Plus, it seems like this person connections, legit. They got some big buy connections because they don't know how the case gonna go before they go to court, buddy. Allegedly. That's all they were going on, eh? I telling you, serious times in Guyana. Serious times in Guyana, buddy. Who's in the chat right now? Big up to all the frequent travelers that are live with us right here on Delta 9 Media. Thanks for tuning in and for being a part of this live presentation. I'm telling you, we got some more headlines that we definitely got to dive into right now. As the flight takes an international connection with these headlines coming in from the US that are definitely going to connect with everything that's going on in the diaspora and around the world, because we're hearing some good news as it relates to Hormuz. We're hearing some good news as it relates to the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, man. We're hearing that the strait is reopened, allegedly. We're hearing that there's a compromise. We're hearing that some amount of agreements were met, allegedly. At this point, persons can expect the strait to be completely open, if not already completely open, because these signatures would have just been inked. Let's hear some of the insights and the information, very important information, might I add, because we know that Guyana is an oil producing nation. So anything that got to do with oil, anything that got to do with the price of oil, and definitely with the conflicts going on right now between the US and Iran, is going to affect Guyana and the entire Caribbean. Let's hear some of these details. The Strait of Hormuz is reopened. There's an agreement and a number of other developments.
News that we were telling you about it just a short while ago. This is coming to us from U.S. officials. They've confirmed that the memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran has now been signed. Now, a signing ceremony was expected for Friday. We had understood from both sides, the U.S. and Iran, that they had reached a deal. But what we're now learning is that this deal, this memorandum of understanding, as it's being called, has actually been signed. Signed by President Donald Trump himself, by his Vice President, J.D. Vance, and the Americans are saying by the Iranian Parliament Speaker, Mohamed Bagher Ghalibaf, who had been leading the Iranian delegation. Let's hear from the Iranian side on this. Al Jazeera's Tawhid Asadi joins us live from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Tawhid, good to have you back in the program. What are you hearing on your end?
Well, the latest comes from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohamed Bagher Ghalibaf, who is also the head of the Iranian negotiating delegation, on his X account, coming out to call it a great step towards final victory, implying that the deal has been signed, but not directly. Still, we've got it from Foreign Minister of the country, Abbas Araghchi, and other diplomatic sources saying that the deal is set to be complete, but it's still the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that there is a possibility for the two sides, the head of delegations, to meet in Switzerland in order to sign it there. But we also know that a lot of diplomatic effort is underway. We know that the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi talked to his counterparts across the globe, including, I would say, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Turkey, Egypt, and Iraq over the past couple of hours. Meanwhile, we know that Qataris and Pakistanis are continuing the trajectory of mediation, while we know that a Qatari delegation has been in Tehran 2 times over the past few days to actually communicate the mediated messages of the Iranian side to the American side and the other way around. And also, we know that some issues are out there, some, I would say, different rhetoric, as we don't have the full details regarding this memorandum of understanding. Iranian side is talking about the continuation of its management over the Strait of Hormuz, and they're saying that it's going to be a coordinated way, while with the Omani side, while Americans are talking about the reopening of the strait. And also when it comes to the frozen assets, Iran is talking about the release of some of those assets in that regard.
The releasing of assets, the opening of the strait, and listen, the relieving of a lot of tension right now all over the globe, because this situation is causing a lot of implications for persons with fuel. And we know that as long as transportation is compromised, you can expect every other price of most other commodities to be compromised as well. So, good news coming in about Hormuz. Good news about Hormuz. And let's hope that we get some more good news moving forward. And, more peaceful times on the planet, right? Now we're talking about the millions and millions that is available for our people right now through the new Guyana Development Bank, and the importance of holding a particular mindset as we take local connections right now, bringing the flight back to everything that's going on in Guyana. Let's hear from the president himself, highlighting these very important things about the mindset that you gotta hold moving forward as an entrepreneur. The mindset is key because there's millions available for you and for me. Let's hear some of these details right now.
This afternoon, I want to continue our conversation on building a strategy to win. And that is what the Guyana Development Bank is all about. When the People's Progressive Party placed in its manifesto the formation of a Guyana Development Bank, it was geared towards building prosperity, enhancing income, empowering people, creating new businesses, and supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, taking families into position of owning things. And that is what builds a winning strategy. But in life itself, whether it's a World Cup football, whether it's cricket, if your objective is to win and to succeed, then you have to have a strategy that is built with an idea, a strategy that is supported with hard work, resilience, a strategy that is backed by the necessary investment, a strategy that is backed by the human capacity, a strategy in which you commit yourself to achieving certain goals, ideals, and results. A winning strategy requires focus, it requires dedication, it requires commitment. A winning strategy is one in which you convert your energy, your being, into positivity. A winning strategy cannot be supported from a position of negativity. And that is important as we embark on this journey of building small businesses, of empowering people. The Guyana Development Bank is about creating strategies at the individual and small business level that allows Guyanese to win, prosper, and succeed. The strategy has to be one that is sustainable and resilient, one that allows you to build an enterprise.
Mindset, right? And access to capital. Two of the most important elements for every single entrepreneur body, right? Access to capital and the mindset that you're going to hold. But there's other things as well, other implications that the opposition is highlighting, and we're going to get into that. But first, we got to analyze a bit more about this conversation on expanding your mindset, making sure that you hold the right mindset. And when we're talking about wealth mindset and the focus that persons should be holding as entrepreneurs, there's a book that comes to mind, The Science of Getting Rich. Now, you could find this book on YouTube and you can check it out for yourself. If you're an entrepreneur and you never read this one, this is a definite must read. Check it out, buddy, in your own free time. You could play it online, or you could read the actual book page per page. Now, the information up on the screen is definitely asking the question, would you get a loan from the new bank? Yes, if the steps are completed. No, the system is too hard. What are persons saying about these details right now? Let me pull this off the screen so persons can see what the polls are that's coming in on that. Now 14%, okay. We got 43% saying they don't trust the new banks, and they got 29% saying let's wait and see the terms. Persons are saying let's wait and see the terms, but most persons are saying they don't trust the new bank, as we can see what the votes are in the poll right now that's on the screen. But let me analyze some more before we hear some more details coming from the president. Let me analyze this entrepreneur mindset that we got to make sure that, you know, we understand some more about. For persons who haven't read this book already, The Science of Getting Rich by Walter D. Wattles. This is one of the books that a lot of other books on entrepreneurship, on financial focus, financial development, and them things. This is one of the books that a lot of other books would use as foundation information, right? Let's hear some of these insights right here on Delta 9 Media.
Whatever he can say, no man can be really happy or satisfied unless his body is living fully in every function, and unless the same is true for his mind and his soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility, or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression, or function seeking performance. Man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary for his physical life. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity to travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations, and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband or father, as a citizen, or as a man. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life for his body, develops his mind, and unfolds his soul.
I'm telling you, insights about mindset, insights about the focus that entrepreneurs should definitely be holding. The Science of Getting Rich by Walter D. Wattles. Check it out on YouTube. Search it. The PDF is definitely available online for downloads, and I'm very sure that we got it on one of the barcodes as well. I'm going to share the barcode in a couple of seconds so persons, so persons can be able to access the book if they would like to, right? Via the channel.
That would not last 2 weeks, a year, or 2 years, but an enterprise that would last a very long time. One that will continue to grow. One that will expand itself. And the Development Bank offers that seed, that important seed that would allow your ideas, your strategy, your plans to germinate. And then, of course, we will help you to mold that plan, to shape that plan, so that the branches of success and the fruit of thy labor shall be your reward. But to have this winning strategy, we have to have a positive mindset. No batsman going out in a 2020 game can be successful if they go out with a negative mindset, worrying about the conditions of play, worrying about if they have to face the fastest bowler, worrying about failure. You have to create a positive mindset. And this is something I want every Guyanese to have as we embark on this journey together. The first phase of the development bank would create opportunities for thousands of Guyanese. We want every single person that will embark on a journey of success, a journey of fulfillment with the Guyana Development Bank to have a positive mindset. Let me say to you that this is a business opportunity.
A business opportunity, right? An opportunity for entrepreneurs to get access to capital, an opportunity for entrepreneurs to get access to financial advice as well, the opportunity to create real generational wealth for yourself and for your family, right? Now, as we analyze what the president is highlighting, we just get a chance to read a part from The Science of Getting Rich, right? As we expound on the conversation of mindset, we're going to hear now from our brother, Mr. Kadaki Amsterdam, Cams TV, right here on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe, because he got the insightful interviews and some insightful conversations like this one, where he's highlighting some of the woes that persons are facing right now, meaning that, guess what? These opportunities are very much so needed.
That says no child left behind, and therefore every child should be promoted through the system and out the door. Come through the front door and go through the back door. In many instances, just as you came, you left. What choices do they have? The options, and the few options that we usually leave them with. Many instances, the options are starvation and poverty. Or get involved in nefarious activities. Because everywhere you turn, you need a certain degree of education. And if we have not prepared them with that education that we believe that they need, then in actuality, we've shut them out of the system. And so the option is to stay out of the system and suffer until death, or take chances, get rich quick or die trying.
%100% wild-crafted sea moss. Only the best, 'cause you deserve nothing less. 8 Butterfly.
8 Butterfly Black Seed, loaded with antioxidants and essential nutrients for your body's needs. Breathe better, feel better, live healthier. All the benefits of black seed oil without the taste. 8 Butterfly Black Seed Capsule.
A natural way to stay ready, baby. 'Cause I'm ready for you, Mr. C.
The ultimate male supplement. Men's total wellness formula. Packed with essential nutrients for men's health.
She'll call you Mr. C.
So, we heard about the implications on the ground that persons are facing. The opportunities are being presented and highlighted by the president. But what is the opposition saying about the new Guyana Development Bank? Let's hear.
Type of comment. We want it, but fix it. Okay? The government of the day, well, the president, to the Guyanese people. a commitment that sees a development bank to make sure that the young mother, the young father, the young man with an idea who couldn't get financing can now get financing. That is a good thing for every Guyanese. Whether you're a PPP supporter, whether you supported WIN, whether you supported APNU, whether you're now supporting VPAC, that is a good thing. What we want today is for the president to ensure what he is saying out of his mouth becomes law. Because what we have seen is the president made a promise to the Guyanese people, but that is not what's tabled in Parliament. Guys, let me explain to you what this means. Our president went on his platform, not once, on multiple occasions, committing to the Guyanese people that he will put forward a development bank that would make sure that each and every one of you with an idea that couldn't get financing because you didn't have the collateral, and the fact that the interest might have been too high, which would have forced you to be uncompetitive because you're a small business. That is very good and is still good. We should all say thank you, Mr. President. But guys, what was presented in Parliament, I'm not sure. You decide if the president is aware or there's someone else talking to the parliamentarians. So it's almost like we got two presidents. One telling we yes and one telling we no. One telling we can do it and someone else telling the people in the Parliament, you ain't no way you ain't tabling that. We got to figure this out. But here what we going to figure it out by doing. We cannot rely, people, on the opposition because we don't have the numbers. If that bill becomes read in Parliament in the next sitting, it would become law because there's enough people on the government side to vote yes. So this is where us, the Guyanese people, will have our parliament. It's called the street parliament, whatever you want to call it. And we are going to right now vote no. Why? What is tabled, people, would see many of you with your idea being turned down and you still don't know why. So we're going to call on the government to make sure that what they're saying is what is presented in the House of the National Assembly. One, Guyanese, you must understand that the money that is being used to fund this bank is not the same money that funds Citizen Bank and Scotia Bank and GBTI and Demerara Bank. This money is the people's money, the same money from the Natural Resource Fund that we've been collecting for our oil, for our gold. That is our money that is funding this bank. And because it is our money, it's almost like a cash grant to the people with laws. Obviously, when they give you the 100,000, they can't tell you what to do with it. This time they're giving you 3 million. They want to make sure you don't go and buy 4 more tickets to another show, buy rims for your car, or put new curtain on your windows. They want to make sure this money is invested, and that is good. But that is not in law. That is not on the bill. What they're saying, people, is not what they have presented to the National Assembly. And we must stand together. Every man and child in this country with a good idea must be treated equally. But the government of the day would have placed all the power to 7 people discretion. What I mean by that? 7 men could sit there and say, this is a good idea, but I don't like the person that presented. There's nothing in there to say whether the teachers, the nurses, the police officers, the soldiers can apply. These guys are going to now say, this is the policeman, he shouldn't get this. No, that policeman is a Guyanese and he too have an idea. That nurse is a Guyanese and she too have an idea. That teacher is a Guyanese and she too have an idea. So we want it clear that every man and child should have the same opportunity to invest in this bank. A man called saying he has a barbershop. He wants to put 3 more chairs. Who's to say he's not going to be disqualified because it's not a new business? No.
What are your views then tonight, travelers? Drop it into the comment section or call it in. I'm definitely going to put the banner up for persons who might not know the number. And you can also participate in the poll that is up on the channel right now. Let's hear your views about these developments. And let's hear some more. From who? The president himself.
This is a loan that is interest-free and collateral-free, but it's not a grant. It is meant to allow you to build a business, to build prosperity, to build an enterprise, to build off of your creativity, to build off of your ideas, to support your ideas, to support your entrepreneurial spirit. It is not making a quick spin. The development bank is not, making a quick spin or a quick turnover or a quick transaction. That is not the strategy of the development bank. It is well thought out. That is why it has support mechanism and also a mechanism built in the organizational structure to allow you to grow, to incentivize the growth and development of your business from where you will start when this bank is launched. And in this winning
The thing is this, that's the conversation that a lot of persons are calling to attention. They're saying who are going to be the people and what's going to be the parameters that's going to give them access to the funds. They want it publicly presented so that we know before we come forward.
Because remember, I tell you, this president doing more than the newspaper. We get an adding president and a dancing president, my brother. Now, why you got to come as a president and highlighting these things? If the poor people getting poor all the time, my brother, because only one set of selected people to get it done. You don't have to have no collateral damage. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have that. But I could get up today and go to the bank and say, I want $3 million. Because I get dream, I go open this business, and there's no vetting. I don't understand this thing, my brother. I like to tell me, where is it that I have to get to prove that I'm going into this business?
That's the point that persons are making. Because if you ain't got no clarity, how are you going to really know what is expected of you as the person now stepping into these different financial institutions or the new financial institution to apply for that amount of funds, right?
And my brother, when you borrow this money, where's the interest rate you're paying back up? How long are you taking to pay back this money?
I think it's supposed to be zero interest. I could be correct. That part right there. That part right there is the question.
Brother, you go to the National Bank and you borrow 100,000, 200,000.
Yeah.
And they give you 2 years, sometimes 18 months to pay this money off. And you struggle to pay this little bit of money. When you get 3 million, what does it do to you as a poor man, brother?
Well, listen, the conversation is making sure that you're informed, making sure that you got the right mindset, and you use all the relevant assistance that will be given to you when you're going for this funding. This is what the president is presenting. So,
Brother,
yeah.
What are you seeing here is only who get money for borrow this money and turn over. That's what we see here, my brother.
Yeah.
Who get money and don't non-second necessity go get this money faster than Europe money. And it's only one second supporters to get this money before the other. So the money they stop being on the telling you that I'm talking to the Guyanese. They can't go to the Guyanese store. I have to have only 200,000, 300,000 people can sell them to all.
Wow. People still waiting
So you see
around.
what's going on, Colin?
Yeah.
Before we go a step forward, we're going to take a step backward. Look how much years we get your own bank bill right thing there now. Now when you go to buy it, you make some money, it's a hard for wrong, it's a hard for wrong, it's a hard treason and trouble. Now the bank's coming on stream, they may know nobody, and they giving you $3 million with no collateral damages you have to pay. So it's just like we're going and clear the land, but there are people living out. You guys are not there through one bar this morning. And
Yeah.
here listening.
Big up yourself, King. Thanks for calling in. I'm telling you, that might be the mindset that the president is talking about. That person's got to hold. You got to make sure you're holding a positive mindset. That's what the leader of the country was pointing out. The same person that was exposing the details on the possibilities that persons would now have to have access to funding to establish businesses and to do a number of things. Big up to all the travelers that are live with us right now and to everyone that's going to catch us in the rewind in the future. Thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up the live if you haven't already. Almost 2 hours live right here with you on Delta 9 Media. Let's hear from members of the opposition as they analyze what's going on with the new Guyana Development Bank. And remember, Samsung keeping us connected no matter where in the world. This live and Delta 9 Media, the whole of Team Delta might be located, right? Yeah. Samsung keeping us connected.
Samsung, keeping us connected no matter where in the world we're located.
And one of those is the chapter
interest for something that calls itself a bank to strip itself of
regulatory thing. Because if you really look at it, there are a number of regulatory framework and legislations, and one of those is the Chapter 8503, and that is the Guyana Financial Institution Act that they're saying you will not be covered by, which means everything that flows, regulation on the central bank, regulations on the accounting, on the tax laws, regulation on the AML, everything is going to fall down because, in fact, there is very little oversight outside of minister and board. Now, you may ask, is Guyana unique in this? And I came prepared for the you two eminent brothers. In the Caribbean, there are 11 known development banks. Bahamas has a development bank. Belize has a development finance cooperation bank. British Virgin Islands has a development bank of the Virgin Islands. Cayman Islands has a Cayman Islands Development Bank. Dominica has a Dominica Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank. Grenada has a development bank. I believe Guyana somehow mirrored some of the things from Grenada, because I think Grenada is one of the most limited in its definition. And when I was doing the comparisons with the banks, when I was doing the comparisons with the legislations, I found some mirrored sections in that. Jamaica, I'm not being biased, but Jamaica has, to my mind, a beautiful legislation as it pertains to the Development Bank of Jamaica. St. Lucia has a St. Lucia Development Bank. St. Vincent has the St. Vincent and Grenadines Development Bank. Trinidad has the Agricultural Development Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. Turks and Caicos has the Turks and Caicos Islands Investment Agency Bank, which acts as the primary national development mechanism bank. Now, I'm saying that when you look at the oversight, the regulatory, Guyana, and I must say, I can debate this very far, that Guyana has, at the start of 40 billion Guyana dollars, Guyana has started in terms of the investment capital at the highest in the Caribbean to the development banks.
Because this discussion is not just for the three of us, it's dedicated to people
Yes.
that are listening. I've noticed that you've done an extensive amount of research, and we're using the word bank. Typically, when we use the word bank, it's being funded by investors, correct?
Yes.
It's being funded by investors. So the capital that carries the bank are not, in this case, funds that came from the Guyanese.
Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Major Land.
Now, our bank that we're speaking to,
I was listening to about this whole loan stuff and whatever, and what Irfaan Ali was talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you believe a man who said he would leave no stone unturned in the Henry Boy's murder, no stone unturned in the Adrian Young stuff?
Yeah.
The boys in Linden who got killed, he went and met with those parents at the Watuka house in Linden, and no stone, like, he just make promises. He just go make promises and nothing. He had a 5:30 meeting with contractors. What came out of that? He himself actually admits driver's license are being obtained fraudulently, and in about 2 weeks they're gonna start to. What are they? Nothing is being done. Like, how can you believe, like, trust this guy what he's saying?
That's why a lot of persons were voting on the poll just now, and they were saying that they don't trust the system. You know, it's because, they lose confidence over time when persons operate in that manner. That's a powerful point you're making right there. Powerful point.
Yeah, I mean, he fully well know, I mean, about that. I mean, he's by coming out and talking about the driver's license, he knows, he's actually saying there's fraud in the system. So but what has been done about it so far, right? I mean, I saw some other stuff. It's in Golden Rock, a company called Golden Rock that Devin Singh had pointed out. There's some guy in Chinese guy named Ernesto Chu. He's the leader of that whole thing. Devin Singh was saying it's like a Chinese mafia. That same Golden Rock, they have a loom tip in a residential area on the East Bank.
Wow.
And these guys are going in and out, bringing out loom. And you should see the mess they're making on the road when it's wet, and then when it's dry.
Accidents as well,
people, right? The dust that's going into these people's house and people are breathing and all these, like, there's so much stuff going on in that place there. I mean, even that stuff with what Mohamed went and exposed to those farmers. One lady saying she has manure. She don't have a garden. She don't have nothing planted, but she has manure, right? The manure, what, the grass? Right?
And persons are pointing out and saying, hey, when the rain is falling, it's the best time to plant certain seeds. It's the best time to put on cassava, stick and them thing, This was one of the insightful persons in the chat was highlighting, big up to that frequent traveler that was highlighting those details as well. You really want to understand what taking place, right? Because we know that if you see the leader of the opposition is coming forward and presenting on certain things, then somehow, somewhere, they more than likely has been some amount of research that went into it. So then when we hear persons coming from the ministry saying counter, he's saying, but wait, what's going on here? What's really taking place?
I mean, these people are they're all being paid, or they're all, they're getting some kind of trying to contradict what Mohamed is saying, right? So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
I saw the other day also Darwin Ness was talking about this importation of chickens and beef and stuff from Brazil. Now they're saying Mustafa, the minister of agriculture, doesn't know anything about it. I mean, so and apparently, allegedly, his son is getting kicked, or his son allegedly is involved in a lot of these things and know-how stuff, right? So there's so much stuff that these guys are doing they don't know, but man, I'm telling you, there's so much backwardness going on in that place, or alleged corruption in that. It's sickening, very, very
It's
sickening,
crazy. And it's holding us in a stagnated position at certain points, because certain things that's supposed to be moving forward is not moving forward how it should,
No. Yep, sir. All right, so I'll take care. Have a good evening, bro.
Thanks for calling in and for dropping those insights with us right here on Delta 9 Major Line. I'm telling you, the frequent travelers are calling in with their views, and we're analyzing what's going on as the opposition investigates the details behind the new Guyana Development Bank. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Moderation. When you get a chance, drop the participation for the last poll that was up on the channel, so persons can get an idea as to what's going on with the voting, with the participation in this last poll that we put up on the channel about what's going on with the Guyana Development Bank. Drop it up on the channel from when you get a chance, while we listen to some more coming in from persons in the opposition as they analyze these details.
It's not a bank that is funded in the typical fashion. Every citizen in Guyana will own a share in this bank.
Yes.
So if you're to put $900 million in the bank, it means each person is responsible for investing $1 million into this bank. So the structure of this bank cannot be the same as a commercial bank.
Right.
Because the structure of this bank, the lending guidelines of this bank cannot be the same as a commercial bank, because the money that is going to capitalize this particular institution came from the Guyanese People Natural Resource Fund. This is not money that venture capitalists, this is our money. It's almost like a cash grant to the people to help our people. So when you understand that, we have to make sure that, and we have to shift the way of thinking, because we're not going into this as a citizen bank, as a Scotia bank. We're going into this where we are invested in this bank. So the guidelines, the borrowing procedures cannot be the same.
That's a very, very good point that the leader of VPAC, the Honorable Mr. Best, is highlighting there. Big up to the whole VPAC, big up to Mr. Bailey, big up to Honorable Mr. Todd, and all the members of the APNU, right? Making sure they analyze the details behind the new Guyana Development Bank. So persons going in to leverage these benefits can have a strong foundation to stand on, so they could make strong decisions, right? Carlisle, shalom, shalom, thanks for tuning in. Carlisle is highlighting this. The PPP cult don't invest in projects that have don't invest in projects that have no kickback for them. Wow. Crazy details when we analyze it, buddy. Crazy details when we analyze it. Thanks for tuning in, Carlisle, and thanks for being a moderator right here on Delta 9 Media. It's a Monday evening, and we are live with you. We're cruising through these headlines, buddy. Big up to all the travelers live with us right now. Wesley is saying, ain't Lyndon Forbes, Samson Burnham did it? Yeah. There was a development bank in Guyana before, and it ran into a number of issues, mostly connected to persons not repaying and a lot of accounts, going into collections, right? Floyd, thanks for being a part of the live. Delta 9 family and friends, big up to one and all. Big up yourself, Floyd. Thanks for tuning into this live presentation. Marcia is highlighting this. Why Guyana president should have to do like Suriname president, open bank books for 18 years and older. I mean, that would be a good venture, to be honest with you, for persons 18 years and older to have access to a bank account, because as you look in the direction that currency is going, commerce is going, business is going, you need a way to access your funds internationally and digitally, because you might not have access to deal with it in the manner that persons have been dealing with it over time, because financial systems is changing and so many things are going digital in our world right now. Thanks for dropping those insights into the comment section, Marcia. Carlisle is saying, keep in mind, is a confirmed liar speaking. Pick up yourself, Carlisle. Thanks for dropping insightful commentary in the comment section. Marcy is saying that money that the president talking about is for them ministers' teeth, and a little is for his family and friends. Allegedly. Let's hope that that situation is something different, man. At some point, something has to change, and persons should not, me perspective, persons should not let this opportunity pass them by without at least trying, because if you don't try, you would never know, right? If you don't try, you will never know. So set up your business plan, set up things in the way that you can really access the funds, and then see what's going to be the outcome, because guess what? There's a number of years before those persons in these positions of power are up for a change again. Jeffrey saying, be running Guyanese out of their own country so others can come in. Long time now. Long. I think a lot of us end up in our different parts of the world, Jeffrey. The stress and the hardships that they're dealing with in Guyana, and then the opportunities that they might have in other parts, right? Is make people just up and do the thing. Contributing to the brain drain. That's one of the issues that the Labor Department is facing now in Guyana. A lot of persons are willing to come back. A lot of persons are willing to be in Guyana, but the things that they got to deal with all the time. Big up to all the travelers right now. Nariana, thanks for tuning in. Big up to every single person that dropped insightful commentary into the comment section. Everybody that took some time to call in. All the frequent travelers, all the new travelers live with us. One love every single time, right? If you're going to catch this one in the rewind in the future, thumbs up the live, share the live, and drop your comments in the comment section. Let's discuss these headlines among other things that we would have highlighted right here on Delta 9 Media. The flight has landed on a Monday. On this Monday evening, right here on Delta 9 Media. The flight has landed, Delta 9 travelers. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of this live presentation. We went through so many headlines right here. Just a short period of time, and time does fly when we start dealing with these headlines, literally flying through them, connecting international with local. I'm telling you, make sure that you thumbs up the live, make sure that you stay connected with Delta 9 Media, and subscribe. And if you're looking for an independent way, an affordable way to support everything that we do right here on Delta 9 Media, then guess what? Consider becoming a channel member. It's very affordable and it's a way to continue supporting independent media, people who present the information in a neutral manner and bring you all of these insightful, informative presentations. The barcode is right above the screen right there by the plain belly where you see the bags them jumping out of. That's the barcode to become a channel member. So become a channel member and support the channel in that way. And you want a free way to support? Subscribe. Subscribe and thumbs up the live. Right? Special thank you again to all the frequent travelers, to everyone that's going to catch this in the rewind in the future. Oh, I had to put up the barcodes for the notebook learning modules for persons who wanted to check out the book that I would have presented before, Science of Getting Rich, and a number of other books right here on Delta 9 Media via a notebook learning module. Then guess what? Scan any of the barcode and you can investigate the information that is connected with it. Because over here at Delta 9 Media, we don't try to gatekeep the information. We try to present the information and give persons opportunity to do their own study, because independent study is important. And don't think we forget about the masonry video. I got a number of different pieces of information for us to get into with that. But I'm going to put it up on the membership access on the channel. Why? Because some videos is not for all persons, and everybody might not be interested in that video that is dealing with masonry X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to put it up, and for those who are interested, you can become a channel member and you can see that type of content. I might even put it up on one of the other channels as well, because I don't want persons that might have contrary views about any of the topics that we're reviewing or any of the topics that is on this notebook learning module to flag down the channel or to, you know, somehow do all kind of foolish things that sometimes people do to platforms. So I'm going to make sure that I put it up, and I'm going to put it up as a membership for now. And then if it's getting the right kind of responses, then guess what? We will put it up for the entire channel, or I might just put it up on one of the other channels. More than likely, I'm going to put it up on one of the other channels later on for full access and for membership on Delta 9 Media. Thanks again to all the viewers. Thanks again to everyone that's in the chat right now, all the moderation, every single person that called in and everything else. One love every single time. Those are the barcodes, and there is another barcode. Hold on. Right here. That just come on the screen right there above my head. That's the barcode that's going to have the budget and a number of business books and all kind of other things right there above my head. Right? So one love every single time. Let me get out of this airport. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and stay connected with Delta 9 Media.